Hello, and welcome to Pandering Hour.
Deal with it. Never do this. Never, ever. Not a good idea. Don't do this. This is way better. What top 10 killer cucks? If you like putting stuff in your butt, that is your right. And don't worry about straight or gay. It's not about that. It's about your own satisfaction. For you. For us, you're gay. Hello, and welcome back to Pandering Hour. I'm your host, Anthony Martin, and today on Pandering Hour, we are talking about Mauritius. And today with me, I have Jean-Pierre joining me. Welcome, Jean-Pierre.
Thank you very much, and nice to be here, and nice to meet you as well.
Yes, I'm very excited. You're extremely interesting. Like right as soon as we started talking, I felt like you were very open and vulnerable. And I talked a little bit about my dad, you talked about your family and how you have your own business. Before we jump deeper into the country, can you tell me a little bit more about your business?
And so basically, I started as a freelancer, which is still the case. At the same time, I'm also running my own agency, which is named as Buzzbro. And we deal with like web development, AI marketing, automations, and all this stuff actually. And we are kind of, let's say, a growth partner to help businesses to actually grow their business within a well-structured environment, and let's say at the most affordable pricing. Since this let's say podcast itself is related to Mauritius, that's the main factor, because since we are based in Mauritius, actually, we can offer like really comprehensive services at a lower pricing compared to other competitors. So that's why I decided to launch my own agency, so I can like spend more time, let's say, with my family, because like based on the time zone difference, I have been working at night for like more than 10 years, and just when my wife, for example, just get up in the morning, I'm just getting to bed, and even my son, and we don't have much time to spend together. So that's kind of my main objective, to get my business where it needs to be and be able to also focus the required time to my family as well.
Yeah. I think you're doing an amazing sacrifice for your family, spending all this extra time working at night. It's like as soon as you told me that, I was like, you won me over. Like you're a great man, sir. And you're also in the country that we're talking about today, and I think that's very fascinating. So how many people actually live there?
Well, based on the latest counting, actually, we are about 1.3 million on average. Some are living overseas, but let's say overall it's like 1.
Right. I mean, Madagascar, and so to put that into reference for the people listening and watching, so Africa is a huge continent, and then there's Madagascar, which is Madagascar looks tiny next to Africa, and then Mauritius looks tiny next to Madagascar.
Definitely, it's much smaller than Madagascar actually, but it's still like for us who lives here. Of course, I have been like not really traveling, but I know most of the other countries, let's say, which are near to us. I mean, islands even. The one I have been was like at Seychelles Island.
Yes. I just talked about Seychelles a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, so basically I have been there a few years ago, and it's also very nice there. I mean, it's kind of similar to Mauritius, just the language is different. Like in Seychelles, for example, the main language is like English, but here in Mauritius, we are supposed to speak English as well, but it's mostly either French or like main language is like local Creole.
Right. So, it's very interesting. A lot of my last episode before this one, I did about Timor-Leste, small country. Where is it? It's like right there, Timor-Leste. and they've made English a priority for learning. It's called a working language over there, just to increase tourism. But I imagine tourism to your country is it's doing well. I mean, just based on the pictures I'm seeing on Google, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like all tourist destination, at some point we have been affected due to the COVID-19. But since after that, I mean, everything is getting back to normal. We have lots of, let's say, hikers, hotels, villas, and everything actually. But yeah, I mean, after the COVID-19 actually got slowed down, so we are starting back to a normal, let's say, level of visit in terms of tourists. So yeah, because this is kind of the main industry, I will say, here in Mauritius, and then we have some other industries like the IT and things like that. But tourist actually is kind of considered as the main one.
Is there a college on Mauritius?
Like we have the University of Mauritius, where I went as well.
Oh, wow.
Actually, the funny thing is that it's located, let's say, like 5 minutes traveling based on where I grown up actually, which is like in Mocha. So basically, that was quite close.
And how large is this island? It's probably like 30 miles wide. It's probably like a 30 by 30 island. Everything must be so intimate. 1.2 million people on that island. I mean, is it expensive to live there?
It's quite expensive, yeah. Because see, the thing is, we produce some stuff here, but what we produced are mostly like being exported. So that's part of the reason that whatever we consume, let's say for eating or even like drinking, we may have some local distributors, but whatever we are doing, like eating, mostly are imported overseas, even clothes and everything actually. So then we are like, industries are purchasing it like in USD, and then when it comes here in Hawaiian, so it's converted into Mauritian rupees. So basically it's like the same thing, because even let's say much more expensive, because they are also including their profits plus the export fees and all these things with that. So yeah.
So I have a travel vlog that I found, and I'd be interested to go through a traveler's experience with you present. Okay? Let me see. I don't like that they do that like goofy music. They always do the same kind of like cinematic. It detracts it for me. You have big sea turtles. Are those tortoises?
Yeah, these are like earth turtles actually, but we do have sea turtles as well, which are more into the aquatic area tourism. But like what you see in videos, just to cover a bit part of it, they mostly covers, let's say, the coastal areas of the island.
How hot does it typically get in Mauritius?
Let's say the highest I can guess during summer is like 30 degrees Celsius, but like on coastal areas, it can go up to like, let's say, 37, 38, depending on the season.
That's not bad. That's actually pretty temperate.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed this in Austin, Texas. It's pretty similar. Like very common Daisy Duke shorts. Like this is a very common outfit in America. Just like tiny shorts, especially in like hotter areas. Whoa. that's like it's a very common outfit, and obviously that's a guy, but that's like this is becoming more and more common. I'm from California, and like that's how most people dress, because California is usually very dry and very hot. But Texas is the same, also very hot, but it's humid. And so it's just, I mean, I work in a professional setting, but I started coming to work in shorts because I had to be outside probably half of the day, and I would tell my boss, like, there's no way. I'm not coming to work in a long sleeve and pants because I will be dripping. I'm going to be wearing wet clothes by the end of the day. There's golf. Is golf big on the island?
Yeah, there are bigger ones and there are smaller ones as well. Even like from where I stayed here, like I would say from maybe 20-25 minutes drive. There is actually also a small golf course, which is more like in the center. But in closer areas like big resorts, you have very big golf courses.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have paper straws. I'm sorry that made it over to you. That was an American thing. Paper straws suck, right? They disintegrate into your drink, and I don't know. In Portland, everyone is like anything that's like protect the environment that doesn't even work. Like I'll get a plastic container with a paper straw in it, and I'm like, what about the plastic container? This is more plastic than the straw. You should have given me a paper cup. Yeah, I'm sick of paper straws. I'm also noticing motorcycles. That's another very common island trend because you need, like, at least what I've seen on other island countries, it's easier to get around on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, like due to the traffic, like you say, since we are like small island compared to the others, so like based on the number of inhabitants that we have, like most of us use like having car, but still like those having motorcycles, it's much more fluid than like in the traffic itself. So yeah, we also have lots of
32 minutes for how far? That's pretty normal.
actually. The one you're seeing actually, the gym kind of
Yeah.
35 minutes drive from Athens.
That doesn't seem very far. I bet you guys have terrible traffic. That must be really upsetting. I grew up in California. California's traffic would drive me insane. Like,
It even got worse when they introduced the metro here, which is not really like a metro, but more like before a tramway basically. But then they kind of built so many stuff in the island for the metro to be able to like move around, and it kind of got the traffic worse. But I mean,
well, I think it would be tough to build like a subway or something like that on an island. And if you just add buses, you're just adding bigger cars on the road. But yeah, this is what I'm familiar with. I grew up in that kind of traffic. 6-lane highway, full. I hate driving. I can't stand it. I like Portland because I can walk everywhere. Is there like a place that you would always eat when you were younger? Like a place you would regularly go to in Mocha?
Mocha, not really. I mean, at that time it was not that much developed, but it was mostly in Roseville where I was going to like college. We have some what we call some special meal here, what we may call like the dal curry. I'm not sure how to spell like in English actually.
Dal curry?
No, it's like DHOLL. And then it will be like, no, not this one.
Not this one?
Not that curry, but puri actually it's PU.
Oh.
I think it's that, yeah. Yeah, it's that this one. The puri Maurice, yeah.
This?
Yeah. There was a place which was like next to Robert College. So each time when we finished school, actually, we just went there and had some meal there. Actually, that was like the favorite stuff that we were eating at.
I want to show you how I use chana dal, if you like.
Oh, so it's made out of like lentils.
Yeah. We can say it like that.
Or did they add lentils?
Go and dal.
The yellow ones.
No.
That's the brown one actually.
It kind of reminds me of a crepe. Kind of reminds me of a tortilla.
Mauritius was first, like say, established by the British. Then we have the French, and then again the British took over. Then we had some Indian laborers who came in. Then we had Chinese. Actually, we started coming here for like doing, let's say, food commerce and things like that. So it's kind of a mix. Then like whatever we are eating nowadays, it's kind of a mix of all the previous ancestors. Then.
Okay. So one thing I'm really noticing is how nice everything is. Like that looks like a new appliance. It's a beautiful kitchen, and also people are making YouTube videos. I think that's so interesting whenever people from other countries are attempting to become influencers and attempting to become big online, because I think it's a very American desire, and I think that's something that's kind of spread to other countries where anyone from anywhere can have a chance to become somebody. Is a very, very weird concept. Like, oh man, you're not gonna like this. Are you aware of the Hak Tua girl? She is from a town of 900 people, and she is now probably a multi-millionaire for this one video. And now she has merch. She has her own talk show. She has gone all across America, and she'll never have to work another day in her life, more than likely. All for that one little thing, that one little iconic Hak Tua, and it's terrible. It infuriates me. But I mean, what do you think about that? How do you feel knowing that like she's completely escaped the rat race of trying to work and chase bills and get ahead for your family?
I mean, I have been doing digital marketing for myself and even for my clients for like, I would say, I mean, for my own business since like started this year, but for other companies I have been working with, actually it's been more like nearly 10 years. And I have always been trying to find, like you say, the keyword that will actually make something viral. But so far, I have not yet been able to reach this. I mean, yes, whatever we are publishing, actually, we are getting like some reputation, some ranking, some likes and stuff like that. But reaching this level, actually, I mean, working within the digital marketing industry is all the dream that we are having, like to find the one thing that will actually be there.
But that, I mean,
at least something that you have by luck, which seems to be the case, the one you just showed me. But when you are actually working for it, actually just to find the right keyword, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. That's why you need to keep like chasing the right one so you can just reach it.
I definitely feel a lot of envy, because it feels like I've been doing stand-up for almost 10 years, and the idea that all I had to do was talk about spitting on a penis, and I could have gone a little bit farther. Obviously there's other factors, but it feels insulting to my intelligence. But that's not, and then it makes me think that, oh, do people even want intelligence? Do people want me to be that, or am I thinking too hard? Do I need to dumb it down? And I've been leaning more towards that direction as I've gotten older. Of like, people don't want to think. People don't even want to read. Have you ever sent someone an email and they don't read it? They just go, what is they want? They call you and ask you to explain the email. Like, the email is just something to put in writing as a backup and a timestamp of like, oh, we're just gonna talk around the email so we have something in writing.
Well, it happens quite lots of time. I mean, even for our marketing campaign, for example, we do send lots of email, and in most cases, when you will have the person on the call, actually, I mean, they might not even like book a call. So, but when you call them back, you say, "Oh, did you receive my emails? No, I didn't get it. Did you want it in the spam folder? I didn't check. So can you just tell me again what about? Then you will just speak again.
Yeah.
Reading the email. That's kind of
No one wants to read. Reading is impossible, which is funny because there was back when books first became popular and it became like the main medium of entertainment. You know, books would be released and people would read books that they don't even like. The same way that people watch television shows that they don't even like. And it was said that like reading was bad for you and that it hurt your eyes to read. They said everything that they say about, you know, watching television about books at one point. And I always thought that was very interesting.
I mean, reading a book is much more, I mean, for like the self-being of a person, reading a book is much better than just sitting in front of like the computer actually and just reading. Because, like, obviously, see, at some point, and it's already started, at some point, books will just die. There won't be books anymore. Because everything will be stored like on the internet. You will have ebooks, you will have things like that, but whatever is like papers, these will die at some point. I mean, that's my opinion.
I agree. So I mean, maybe I'm projecting, but I feel like my fellow Americans have a sense of a dread about the world. Like, I don't think anyone really knows what's going to be happening in the next 5 years and like where they're going in life. I think most people are just kind of going through the motions. And I wanted to know, like, in your country, is there hope? Like, do you believe that you and your fellow man can succeed in your country?
Again, I would say it depends. Like on your own, like
Right.
because not everyone will have the same. Now, people are getting into drugs more.
Oh.
In the new generation, actually, which is getting worse day after day, month after month. But I mean, in terms of expectation, we are just expecting that our future generation will hopefully find some kind of solution for that. But whoever is part of, let's say, the previous generation, that is like my generation, for example, there are still some who are just like getting into it, but some are still like fighting against it. So, but the new ones, they are not even considering it like an issue to, let's say, I mean, not an issue, but even worse than that, to the future generation. I mean, I don't like to talk about government aspects. I really don't want to go into that. But I mean, there have been lots of things that have been left apart just because, like, some people are getting money out of it. So that's why, yeah, I guess it's not just getting Mauritius, but it's like the same thing everywhere.
So drugs have always been a problem in America for at least the last 50 years. You know, drugs have been, whether it's marijuana, heroin, cocaine, crack, because of how long the drugs have been in our country, it's seemed like there are characters that come about, you know, like with cocaine, you can tell someone's on cocaine because they show certain characteristics. Or they try and start a business with you. They say things like, yeah, I got this great idea. Okay, you and me, they talk fast. Their eyes are very wide. They're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start a business. Okay, online marketing. We're going to talk to a girl, and we're just going to get things together and get going. We're all going to be rich. Like they blah, 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 blah. It increases. And so in this article about drug use in Mauritius, to see that people are stripping copper, I want to see if I can find that, because oh man, and you guys are Cajun guys stripping.
Mauritius is actually very rich in culture.
For roti, and it is technically like the Mauritian McDonald's.
Yeah, it does. Everyone's very, very British.
It's so good. I absolutely love the fact
I told you, actually, it depends. If you are actually well, I don't like to use this word, but if you are well educated, basically. So obviously you won't be able to manage both English and French, for example. But there are still some areas, I would say, within the island where you might have some French-speaking people, but still like very low in terms of English. But that's very rare. I mean, previously that was the case, but now everyone is kind of getting to a higher level, which is
So I'm noticing that you have a lot of sympathy for those of a lower standing than you, or at least the idea of it, that people would be born into families with less. And here in America, that's not always the case. Like some people, it's very performative here. And the reason for that is because it's very common here in the United States that people can traverse their economic status. They can go from being, a very poor person to a very rich person back to being very poor. And then we end up making movies about them. People like Jordan Belfort. Usually when people do this, it's because they scam people out of their money. But sometimes it's for good reasons, like people like Kevin Hart, very famous comedian and movie star who grew up extremely poor and then later became one of the richest, highest grossing actors to ever live. And so I think it's interesting the way that you talk about people who were born into less. Is that not as possible in Mauritius?
no. You see, I never forget where I come from actually.
Right.
That's why I always think about the lowest one. I mean, not making any comparison, because it depends based on the resources you had, the environment actually you grown up. But I will say honestly, I won't blame anyone who are like lower than me, because they might have been unlucky at some point, either them or their family actually. But we are all human beings. We are all trying to have a living, whatever circumstances happen in our life. So we should all consider ourselves as human beings. And if at my position I was able to help others, I would have done it. But even myself, I mean, yeah, even in my position, I'm struggling and still fighting every single day. But if I was like even at a higher position, let's say, for example, like I said, I don't like talk about government, but there are so many things that could be done actually to help these people, basically, that to help them have a better living, but which is not the case. So that's why I keep bringing it back to where I was, because that won't ever change. Even let's say tomorrow I become like a billionaire, so I will always remember where I came from, and I will always be there to actually support others whenever I can. So I mean, that's the big difference. Not all people do have this kind of mindset, I will say, but that's mine.
I think you're a very kind person. I think you really care. And I think, well, do you have homeless people in Mauritius?
Yes, not as much as you guys, I guess, but we do have.
So, this is always very hard for me to talk about because I mean, one of my fears is to become homeless. And I'm not, it's not like, how should I phrase this? My fear isn't just to be without a home. My fear is to be without anyone who cares enough about me to take care of me. And I think that's a very common fear amongst the elderly. But I definitely think that I'm very familiar with the homeless. I used to work at a property where I would regularly interact with the homeless. I've met social workers and I picked their brains on these subjects. The homeless crisis in America is so sad. And it brings me to the point of tears sometimes when I've spoken to people who are on the brink of homelessness. And it just weighs on my heart so much to see people without anyone who can help them, with a government who's failing them, a society that rejects them, and for reasons to me that don't seem valid. I think that we're so elitist here in America about our values without actually ever really committing to values. Like you really don't have to walk the walk. You just have to talk the talk. Like in America, around February, I think, Gay Pride Month. That's a time of year where every corporation for a month will switch their logos to rainbow flags and other gay signaling things, and to promote the LGBTQ community, but then will actively do things that don't reinforce those values. And it's a clear indicator that it is just a dog whistle to lure in people of a certain demographic to extract their income. And I've been in conversations with these multi-million-dollar companies where they say things like that, like, how can we extract the income from this demographic? And I think it's disgusting. It appalls me because money has never been something that I wanted. Money has never been, it's something that I needed, but it now seems like something that it seems like a curse. Like I feel like I'm an addict. Like I'm constantly trying to quit money, but I can't. I just keep needing it.
I mean, I think all good people nowadays, I think we're all in kind of the same situation. It's not like we are just going after money, but we just need it actually to have like a living. But there are people who really like live for money, just for money, and they might even kill others, even like betrayed others or whatever they need, not thinking about whatever other people are actually living in their daily life, how they are suffering. So, I mean, yeah, if we do have like a good heart, I mean, money has taken a place in the in like the humanity, I would call it like that. Like today, whatever you need to do, even though you're not running after money, but let's say you need to eat a sandwich today, actually, you need to pay for it. So where are you going to get the money for that? You need to work. And if you don't, I mean, if we think about the barter system, where we were exchanging things, like if I'm just giving like, let's say, whatever I have in my possession, I'm just giving it and I'm getting something in return. There's no money actually in the middle of the exchange. But nowadays, everything actually is related to money. If you don't have money, actually, you cannot do anything. And not only for you, but even for myself, I'm actually having a son, 7 years old, and I need to actually grow him. I need to give him education. I need to make sure that when he actually will be grown up, he will also have a good living. So for this, I need money. But actually, I'm not running after money. But like I said, there are people who, when they wake up in the morning, what I can do actually to get money today, who I can kill actually to get money today. I mean, there are these kind of mindset, which then, see, if on Earth, let's take it globally, if on Earth actually there was like an equal, let's say, equal possibility for everyone, we won't be in this kind of situation. Because like right now, there are people who have money, but they don't even know actually what to do with it. But there are people who needs to actually, like, I'm just taking myself as an example. I need to work like 12, 14, 15, 20 hours a day, even during weekend actually, just to be able to have, I mean, I won't even say call it like a decent living, but actually to reach my objective, and it's even harder right now. If we get back like 1 year ago, the Mauritius bank actually took the decision that due to the inflation itself, they increased the mortgage rate without the consent of anyone. They sleep on their own. And then, based on what I was paying, actually, I need to pay like 10% and even more than that. And even actually, everyone is afraid of this. But you see, this kind of situation, like I said, if there was an equal possibility for everyone when they actually born, so many things. Because like if we look into it right now, why most people deal with drugs? Because they don't have any other solution.
Right.
So they just need money. Some of them, maybe not all of them, not all of them, but some of them, they actually need money actually to help their family. They don't have any other alternative. But if we had actually this possibility, this equal possibility for everyone, many of these situations won't be happening. But that's my thing. That's my way of thinking.
No, that's a very common sentiment. I think we do care about people. I care about people. I try to. I've been, some people think I don't like my fellow man, but I do. I really do. I just get angry at how I feel and how people won't help themselves. And I think that's something me and my dad have both expressed, where it's like I'm mad at I get mad at the homeless, not because they're homeless, or not just because they're homeless, but because, I want to help you. I really want to help you. I wish I could invite you into my home and you could sleep on my couch until you could get a job. And I'd love to, give you some extra clothes and let you take a shower in my place. But they would end up taking me for granted. They would end up, like so many homeless people I've done, like that's how they get their hooks in you. Like a lot of homeless people, and this is a terrible thing to say because I feel like I'm blaming them, but a lot of them have ended up homeless because they've cheated and they've hurt the people in their lives who could take care of them, and now those people have cut them off. And that's why it seems like such a nightmare to me, because it means that there's no one left to love me. There's no one left to care, or who I've become such a burden that people have turned their back on me. And that's a horrifying thought. This reminds me of a story of my grandfather. So I heard two versions of the story. One from my brother, who I'm going to say he learned the truth directly from my grandmother. And then there's my mom, who lived through it. But my grandfather was a carpenter. And he would, talk to the people in the neighborhood, as my mom said. And he would go around and he'd meet these strangers, and some of them were down on their luck. Some of them were homeless. And he'd say, "Sir, I know you're down on your luck. I want you to come over to my home and meet my family, and I will give you food, and you can take a shower. You can be in a clean place." And he would feed them and bathe them for nothing. The real version of that story that I heard from my brother, who heard it from my grandma, which is he would get drunk at the bar, and he'd meet some sketchy guy, and he'd say, "Come over to my place." He'd bring them over, and my grandma would be like, "Who is this guy? Why are you bringing him around our daughters?" And he would just be like, "It's fine." And he'd let them shower and eat our food. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a totally different guy than what my mom described it as. But that's probably because she was a little girl at the time, and she saw her dad my grandfather in a very, very nice light. I'm very grateful to have you on, JP. I think you're a delightful human being. You're funny. You're a family man. I think you're awesome, and I really appreciate you coming on.